So in today's episode, we're going to talk about Social Security timing and how that relates to your retirement income plan. And so in our industry, a lot of financial advisors look at Social Security timing through what's called a break-even point. A break-even point is essentially the time that it takes us to make up ground from drawing early as opposed to delaying. So if I draw at age 62, how many years do I have to live in order to get the same amount of money out of Social Security as if I started to draw at 67, getting that higher amount of income? In that scenario, the break-even point is age 78. Now, I believe the financial industry gets it wrong when we're looking at Social Security timing just through the lens of a break-even point. Because essentially, if we're drawing Social Security at 62 or 67, in this example, we're going to assume that these clients are retired. They're no longer working and they don't have any other source of income. So they're going to have to rely on their investments or Social Security or a combination of both in order to deliver the amount of income that they're targeting. So in this scenario, whether you draw at 62 or 67, most of the time, there's a set amount of income that we want or need, regardless of where it comes from. So in this scenario, we're going to look at $7,500 a month of income needed to support the retirement lifestyle. So what we want to look at between the scenarios that I've built out for you today is if I draw Social Security at 62, which will give me a lesser amount per month, I immediately also have to start drawing money off of the portfolio to supplement to get me to that $7,500 a month number, right? And if I delay my Social Security until 67, I'm still targeting the $7,500 a month. That just means that I have to take bigger and heavier draws off the portfolio in those early years to be able to get that higher Social Security amount at 67. At that time, I'm still having to pull money off the portfolio, but at a lesser amount. The question is, which of those scenarios gives you the most amount of money in your portfolio in the beginning, middle, and end of that scenario? Because if the income is the same, and we're just targeting the $7,500 a month, then it all comes down to which one of the scenarios gives you the most amount of money during that retirement drawdown. So we're going to start here today and look at the age 62. So I've got Jack and Jane Smiley here. They're both age 62. You can see we have them both listed as retired. And at 62, for Jack and Jane, their Social Security amounts would be $2,000 a month each. So we got $4,000 of our $7,500 a month that we need. So then we've built in an investment portfolio, assuming this client has $1 million saved up in their investments. And we're looking at what would be considered a moderate or reasonable rate of return here of 6%. Okay, so in both of these scenarios, what you're going to see is every one of the pieces that I'm building are identical. We're not changing the investment amount, we're not changing the rate of return, we're not changing the inflation number. All we're doing is changing the timing of when we draw Social Security as opposed to how much we're pulling off of the portfolio. So here in this scenario, we have the $1 million. I've built in a cash flow of $3,500 a month. That's coming off of the portfolio again against that 6% rate of return. And in here, I also have a 1.5% inflation rate against the income. So we're seeing that income grow. In this software, we can build any kind of inflation number that you want to see, but we wanted to have something in there to see that income growing. So when we jump here to the retirement tab, we're going to see at age 62, we have $4,000 a month coming in from Social Security. And then the monthly cash flow here of $3,500, this piece is coming off of the portfolio against that rate of return of 6%. So you can see $7,500 a month at the inflation rate We're continuing to see that income go up. But more importantly, what I want you to focus on is what's happening to the value of the investments. So as we're pulling out the $3,500 a month, you're actually seeing that portfolio value still continue to grow over the length of the retirement years. And we're going to look at this all the way down till age 85. At age 85, typically things tend to slow down in retirement. We're not traveling as much or going as far or doing as much as we did in those early years. We call them the go-go years of retirement. So at age 85, we've delivered the amount of income that the client was looking for all the way through that age. And when they're finished, at that point, they have $1.27 million left in the portfolio. So not only were they able to draw income off the portfolio with some inflation coming off of it, the portfolio was still actually able to continue to appreciate over their lifetime. So in this scenario, you can see we never really see the portfolio value declining or going down. So as we move forward to the age 67 scenario. So here at age 67, I just want to quickly show you everything is the same. Both retired today. The Social Security amount is $2,805 now. So that's the amount of additional income they're going to get from Social Security by delaying until that age 67 time frame. For investments, we still have the $1 million. And we're still looking at a 6% rate of return. Again, everything here is identical. The difference is we had to now build in two different cash flows coming off the investments. Starting out, number one, income at age 62, delaying Social Security, they're going to have to pull $7,500 a month off of those investments, still adding the inflation to that. And then once they get to their full retirement age, we're able to reduce that withdrawal down to $2,450 a month. So when we move here over to the retirement tab, we're going to once again see the $1 million, and we're going to see our $7,500 a month, and we're going to see that same rate of inflation of that money increasing. Now keep in mind, this income right now is 100% coming off the portfolio because we're delaying to try to get that higher Social Security amount. So look what happens to the value of the investments in these early years that we're drawing out of the portfolio. We're actually seeing the principal value go down consistently all the way until that age 67. So because we're pulling a much higher amount off the portfolio in these early years of the retirement, we're actually seeing the principal value go down pretty considerably. Now, a couple things to keep in mind, and this is something that we know from experience from doing retirement planning. In these first 10 to 15 years of the retirement, even though we're building in $7,500 a month, it's very likely that there's going to be additional withdrawals needed to support and supplement that monthly income. Whether that's taking some bigger or special trips or helping out kids or grandkids or doing some work around the house or some projects or a kitchen replacement, things like that. This is not going to be the only amount of income that they need. And if we're seeing that principal value go down at this rate, and then think about having to pull additional money off of it, or add in a difficult time in the market where the value of the investments are going down, that's not going to be a very comfortable scenario. But let's take a look as we get down here to when Social Security is turned on. We're able to reduce that withdrawal off the investments. Now we get to see that portfolio value begin to grow again. However, when we get all the way down here to age 85, the value of the investments is now $1.107 million. And if you remember in the age 62 scenario, the value was $1.27 million. So we're looking at $170,000 more for actually not delaying Social Security. What that tells us is the impact on our investments to delay and get that little bit extra each month actually has a pretty detrimental impact on the value of the investments, especially in those early years of the retirement. So in this scenario, I'm going to choose the option that gives me the most money in the beginning, middle, and end of my life, which for this client, again, is to draw their Social Security at age 62 to not have that impact on their investments. If you've never seen a Social Security analysis like this or done a comparison as to if I delay my Social Security, yes, I'm going to get X amount more, but what is the impact against my investments? This is 100% the analysis that you need to see when it comes to timing your Social Security. If you haven't seen this before, your advisor isn't talking to you about this, I encourage you to click on the link below and we'll get somebody to reach out to you. We'd love to talk to you about running a scenario like this so that you can have the information to make sure that you're making the best decision financially for you and your family as it relates to when to draw Social Security.